What's going on YouTube? I'm back on another video. So this is my second live stream for the day, and today's live stream is going to be on how I'm inspired by Christian rock music. Um, so I talk a lot. If for those who've been following me, for a long time, I used to talk about Christian rap a lot, gospel rap, whatever you call it, or Christians that rap. That whole thing. And I still into that music as well. I love Lecrae, I love Prop, I love those cats out there who've been repping Christ. And because I'm from that culture, I'm from the hip hop culture. I was raised by hip hop music. And that culture still, I still get inspired by rap music. But like lately, I listen to like Christian rock music. People like Stryper, bands like Skillet, P.O.D, just so many great bands. That was for Crutch. Oh my gosh, they're like killing it. And I've just been like, dang, these guys are dope. I mean, I was never into rock music, like secular rock music, but like when I listen to those guys, I'm like, dang. Like, people say Christian rock, Christian rock kind of has the same stigma as Christian rap, as being like lame and corny because of, because of the whole like Christian thing and like everybody's not a Christian, just because, you see the word Christian, you like assume something is whack. But when I listen to like Stryper, I'm like, dang, like you got people who are atheists that say Stryper's nice. Like that's how crazy Stryper is. That's how wild Stryper is. That's how dope Stryper is. Like with Christian rap, like that's the crazy. There's like not many people who pick up Christian rap like that. But with Christian rock, like you have like punks and metalheads and Satanists that say good things about Christian rock music because they focus on because I look at Christian rockers. I mean, a lot of them focus on just about glorifying God. It's not about money. It's not about trying to win, win the carnals, so to speak. More so, it's more so about just like focus on creating good music, and just focus on God. Like that's it. And that's why I could get behind bands like Stryper and like P.O.D and stuff like that. Not just because they make good music, and because of they made their whole mentality of just creating great content and make sure that they keep God first in their heart. And that's something that I'm doing with my own. That's something that's inspiring to me as somebody who does spoken word poetry. That's like really inspiring to hear that from other Christians because a lot of times you feel like, you know, how can I win more people? How can I, how can I get, more people to listen to what I have to say? And it's like, where you just focus on Christ and just focus on creating, like staying in your own lane, so to speak. They will come to you if you're making good content. If you're honing your own craft, like the world's gonna come to you. People are gonna come. People will say, man, I don't know what I don't I may not believe what he believe in, but there's something about this dude. Like this dude be making good content. He making good music. He making good poetry, good raps. Like I need to see what he's up to. What he's on. Like. So I feel like, of course, you're gonna have people that's gonna reject it. Of course, you're gonna have people that's gonna say, "F this," this is whack, this is lame. I ain't with all the Jesus stuff. You're gonna have that as well. But I see that, the best way to win the world, the best way to win people who aren't Christians, who aren't saved, is basically just stay in your own lane and just worry about pleasing God and just worry about creating good content. Like if you just worry about that, then the rest of the stuff's gonna come. Money, success, whatever. And like, cause like D1 said best, there's people who we want to reach and there's people who you meant to reach. And it's something, and a lot of times we struggle with that because we feel like, we need to reach the young people. We need to reach the kids who don't believe in God, but people we meant to reach is people who are in the church, but who just feel like churches are doing it for them. Like so, that's kind of that we had to have that mentality when it comes to our creativity. So I really love Christian rock. I mean, when I listen to that, when I watched that interview from Stryper from like '87, because they've been around for a long time. They've been around for decades, and I was hearing that I think it was Michael who said this, Michael Sweet. He was saying that we knew we did this not because we did this, expecting that we was gonna make any money. We just did this because we wanted to glorify God and we wanted to win the loss. And then eventually, the money came, the success came, and then Stryper became one of the biggest bands of the '80s. Like they was up there with like Van Halen and AC/DC and like all those like big like metal bands of like the '80s and stuff like that. So like it will come to you, if God will give you desires of your heart, but you just gotta like stay, you just gotta believe, and you just gotta stay faithful. You just gotta not worry about what people say, you gotta not worry about what the world's saying. You gotta worry about what God thinks about you, and then I worry about making sure that you pleasing God and you're putting Him first, and not putting yourself, and not putting all these material things first, because we get so caught up in like followers and subscribers and stuff of that nature, but we forget about the reason why we do this stuff in the first place. We forget about the reason why we wake up in the morning, the reason why we were able to have all this amazing talent in the first place. So that's something that's been on my mind lately. But I'm really thankful that you know that my friend Travis got me to Christian rock. I mean, because I was already kind of familiar with Skillet, but like I was never, again, I didn't grow up listening to rock music. I grew up in a hip hop family, hip hop and R&B family. Really gospel, but like I grew up in a black family, of course. So like rock music is like considered white people music. But like when I listen to Stryper, I'll be like, oh my god, these people could play. When I heard P.O.D, I'm like, wow, P.O.D. I mean they rap, but they still they have that hip hop element with that rock element. They have that new metal type of vibe. And I really like new metal music. And new metal is like kind of like it's metal, but it's not like just not the typical screaming your ears. It's more about it's more like kind of hip hop ish with a rock vibe to it. Yeah, it's a rock music but a hip hop undertone to it. So I like like that new metal sound. So I do like P.O.D. Um, um, I do like P.O.D. What are bands? I forgot this band. It's not a new metal Christian. It's not like new metal with a Christian lyrical content. I forgot their name. It'll come to me later. But the point is, man, I'm just like really inspired by Christian rock. Another band I've kind of like been like looking up, researching is Petra. Petra's like considered like the first mainstream Christian rock band. Like they came out in the '70s, but they didn't really like blew up until like the early '80s. And like I like Petra because I mean Petra is more like hard rock. It's not metal, but like they really like set the tone what the Christian rock will become in the next few years, because Petra was like I mean these guys were like they were doing it for like 10 years before they was able to do it full time. They was working jobs. They were they were married. They had children. Typical Christian stuff. So they was living typical normal lives prior to becoming like really big rock stars. And, like one of the lead singers of that band, the one that came, the second lead singer of that band, I forgot his name, John. Yeah, his first name was John. He came in the band, you know, he was in another band where he was singing about like, drugs and stuff like that. He was on cocaine and beer. Then he gave his life to Christ, and then like 5 years after he gave his life to Christ, um, the guy from Petra said, you want to join that band? Our first lead singer, he left the band and moved on to do other things, and he like because God, he was like, I was gonna give up rock music because that music was of the devil and stuff like that. I mean, he still loved rock music. He was rock music was his life pretty much, but then he was like, you know what, my wife's okay with it. God was okay with it. Let's join the band. And that really inspired me because like a lot of times we think that hip hop or rock or whatever is like it's like secular, it's bad, it's demonic, and we all been told that by their parents or grandparents, like even people who grew up listening to that type of music, they never saw it from a Christian perspective. They always saw it from like a worldly perspective. Like hip hop is still going through that. Like with rock music, it's pretty much acceptable now to do Christian rock music, at least among white kids, because like They see the young people are into it. They see that, they see that it reaches a lot of, young, teenagers, and it's more accepted now because because rock music in general is a lot older than hip hop music. But like with hip hop, it still has that stigma of being too ghetto, being too hood, being too demonic. It still has that stigma attached to it, even though hip hop's been around for over 40 years now. You know, but so like, I mean, hip hop is still going through that phase, but like, I just look at the rock, community, the Christian rock community, and I'm just like, man, these guys are. I mean, they're so. I mean, they have their issues, they have their flaws, like every other human being. But like, I just look at them, it's just so inspiring how they more focused on just trying to please God, trying to perform for the glory of the Lord instead of just trying to perform to glorify them. It's just so inspiring to hear that from rock stars, because we look at rock stars as being like crazy and weird and always and just being this anti-established, anti-religious, like, I mean, because like the reason why I never really got into rock music. One of the reasons why I never got into rock music, besides the fact that I didn't really grew up with it, it was because a lot of songs talk about the devil a lot, and like and it really scared me because I didn't want to listen to anything that was satanic. But when and then Christian rock, I wasn't sure I was gonna really like Christian rock because I mean Skillet, Skillet, some of these songs, I mean, I'm kind of like mixed about. I mean, there's some Skillet songs I like. There are some songs I'm just like, not really my thing. But then when I listen to like Stryper or like P.O.D, I'm like, dang, this stuff is dope. So yeah. So anyway, this is Mario signing off.